my like wisdom teeth extraction surgery video, all about getting my wisdom teeth out and my experience and stuff like that, and like advice and tips. So this video is probably going to be like pretty long, so let's just get into it. So basically, I got my wisdom teeth out last Wednesday on May 18th. I went in and I was super nervous. I went in and they hooked me up to all of these different monitors, like for my blood pressure and my heart rate and like my oxygen levels and all this fun stuff. And then my surgeon came in and he hooked me up to an IV for general anesthesia because I did not want to be awake at all. I have like major dental anxiety, so yeah, I did not want to be awake, so I had general anesthesia. So my surgery probably took about like 45-ish minutes. It was only supposed to take around 20-25 minutes, but the tooth on my right side on the bottom, that tooth was like impacted, like it was further down in the bone than he anticipated. Even though he had like took x-rays and everything, it was further down in the bone, so he had to dig further to take it out. And yeah, so it was bleeding a little bit more, so we had to put like this stuff called bone wax in to like control the bleeding. But yeah, so my surgery ended up taking 45 minutes, and then I was in the recovery room for about another 45 minutes while I was waking up from the general anesthesia. Yeah, and then while I was in the recovery room, I got, they gave me this like ice pack wrap thing to go on your face, and I'll show you more about that later. And my mom was there, and once I woke up like enough to like go home, I like got some water and everything, and I had like blood all over my bottom lip and everything. It was kind of gross, but I didn't feel any pain. Like I felt very minimal pain for the first day because I also got local anesthesia, like local anesthetic, which is like Novocaine or whatever to like numb your mouth. So I also got that, and that lasted the whole first day. Like it lasted until like probably like midnight of that like first day. So that was nice. Yeah, so after my procedure, my mom drove me home, and she like got me comfortable in our recliner, and then she went down to pick up my prescriptions. Because after you get your wisdom teeth out, you will typically get 2 prescriptions. You'll get one for an antibiotic, and you'll get one for a pain med. So I got hydrocodone / acetaminophen as my like prescription pain med, and it made me feel really crappy, but it took the pain away, and I really needed it. Taking regular acetaminophen and ibuprofen did not help like at all. So yeah. So I guess we'll just, oh yeah, and then swelling. I had the first day I wasn't super swollen. The swelling began to increase until I was about like 3 or 4 days like post-op, and then it was more swollen on my right side because of because he had to like really dig for that tooth, and there was like more trauma to that side. So my right side was more swollen, and the pain got really bad around, I have to say, probably day 3, day 4 too. So, yeah. So your swelling tends to increase, and then your swelling and pain tends to increase for the first like 3 or 4 days, and then after that it begins to decrease again. So yeah. So overall, I had a pretty good recovery. It wasn't too difficult. It was painful, but yeah. And then I just had my follow-up appointment yesterday, so I still have stitches. They are the dissolvable kind, though, and my surgeon checked them, and he said they look great. He said everything looks great. I just have to, now the sockets or whatever, something, like the gum is starting to like separate or something, which is normal, and it's like means that they're healing. So because of that, food can get stuck. So he gave me this little like syringe that I have to use to flush out my gums, like flush out the sockets, at least twice a day. He said I can do it more, but I have to do it at least twice a day. So yeah, that's pretty much like my experience. Think I'm gonna put in like, I took photos like every morning of like what my like swelling and everything, because I wanted to like compare and everything. So I can add those in at the end of this video if you want to see like swelling wise what it's like. Yeah. Oh yeah, and I couldn't open my mouth very much at all. Like I couldn't really open my mouth much until probably Monday was when I was able to start opening my mouth wider. Now I can pretty much open my mouth like with no pain, like as much as I need it to. It's hard because the stitches are still there, so it's like still kind of painful because it feels like it's pulling. But yeah, other than that, yeah. So I guess I'll just get into like the aftercare kind of stuff. So I got this paper from my surgeon, and yeah, so basically I'm just going to be like kind of reading off this, make sure I mention everything. So I guess we'll talk about pain first. So like I said, pain and like swelling tends to like increase over the first like 3 or 4 days. And then it can last like for like days after that. There are like a couple different ways you can manage your pain. The way I could manage my pain was that I could take my hydrocodone acetaminophen prescription, and then like 4 hours later I could take ibuprofen, and so I could alternate. So I did that, and I mean, it didn't really help when the pain got like super bad. The ibuprofen didn't, so like the hydrocodone was starting to wear off before I needed another one, and it was like those couple hours were like very painful. Or if you don't want to take your prescription pain meds, you can alternate acetaminophen and ibuprofen. So you can just like alternate that like every 4 to 6 hours, which is what I started doing around like starting like Monday-ish, when I was still feeling pain, but I didn't want to take my hydrocodone because it made me feel like crap, and I wanted to be able to like drive again, because when you're taking prescription painkillers, you can't drive. You can't drive for 24 hours like after you've taken one. So yeah. If you do take prescription pain medication, you should always take it with food. I was kind of confused on this because my paper from my surgeon said to always take it with food, and then my the little pamphlet when you get your prescription like from the pharmacy said that it can be taken either with or without food. So I just took it with food anyway. because I had to take my antibiotic with food. So yeah, so normally what I would do is I would eat like yogurt or something super easy that would go down. And yogurt is really good too because yogurt has probiotics and like the good bacteria, and antibiotics. When you're taking antibiotics, they can like they can get rid of some of the good bacteria too. So you should like eating yogurt helps to build that good bacteria up while you're on antibiotics. So yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, and if you have to take an antibiotic, not everyone does. My surgeon just prescribes antibiotics like as a precaution. Some places don't, some do. It all depends. But if you do have to take an antibiotic and you are female and you are on birth control, use another type of contraceptive or like during the time you're taking the antibiotic, because antibiotics can like cause birth control to fail, and yeah, that would suck. So okay, so that's really it for pain. For swelling, like I said, swelling and pain, they increase over the first first few days. Keeping your head elevated is really helpful. I could not sleep in my bed because I could not get my head elevated up enough to where my face wasn't like throbbing at night. So I slept in the recliner right there. Slept in that recliner. And then I just started sleeping in my bed on Monday. So, yeah, it sucked because the chair is not comfortable. But you should keep your head elevated because it will help decrease the swelling. So, and then try not to increase your heart rate too much over the first 5 days or so, because that can also increase swelling. So, you know, to manage your swelling, you can apply ice and heat. So I was told to apply ice for the first 3 days, 2 or 3 days. Then after that, heat may work better. So I used this for my ice packs and my heat packs. I used ice for the first 4 days, but on the 4th day I alternated with heat. I didn't do just ice all day. I did alternated with heat. And then after that I started using heat because the heat felt a lot better. But I'll show you how to put this on. So basically it's like a sock kind of thing. It's like a tube. So these are my ice packs right here. So you're going to put your ice packs in, and then you're going to put them around your face. And there's a Velcro up at the top. And you Velcro right there, and then they sit right here on your cheeks, and it feels really good, and it's super helpful because it keeps its hands free, so you don't have to hold ice packs or a bag of peas or whatever to your face, which I really liked. So I got that from my surgeon. They put that on me while I was in the recovery room. But I had one at home because my mom got one when she had some teeth pulled a while ago. So I was like, oh, I can just use that. Yeah. So for ice packs, so they gave me 2 ice packs, which also, they were hot and cold packs, so they can be microwaved. I also bought these ones off Amazon. It was a 4-pack for $15 or something like that. And these are also hot and cold packs, so you can microwave them for heat. So basically I had 3 sets of ice packs. So I just alternated, rotated them out so that I always had some in the freezer and some on my face. So yeah, make sure you have at least like 4 ice packs so that you can keep 2 in the freezer and 2 on your face at all times. Yeah, I also made ice packs because I didn't find these until like 2 days before my procedure. So I was like, I'm gonna need ice packs because we didn't have any ice pack, like the gel ice packs at home. So you can easily make your own gel ice packs, and to do that you need it's like 1 cup of isopropyl alcohol, which is rubbing alcohol, and 2 cups of water, and mix it together and just put it in like a sandwich bag or a freezer bag, and however you want to do it, like for whatever size you need, and then freeze it, and yeah, and it'll work. So I made those about a week in advance, and after a week they still hadn't like turned into like gel ice packs, so I wasn't really sure how they were gonna work, so that's why I went out and bought these just in case. But they did work. I didn't end up using them, but that's okay because I can use them like in my lunch, like for work and stuff like that. They get super cold, by the way. Okay, so also your jaw after wisdom teeth surgery is going to be pretty stiff, and you're not going to be able to open your mouth very wide, and that is common, and it typically improves like by like 2 weeks after surgery. You should be able to open your mouth like normally, and your jaw shouldn't be as stiff. My jaw is still feels like a little stiff, but it's definitely a lot better than it was before. Yeah. So on to bleeding. So the first day, I didn't really bleed that much. I mean, they didn't even they didn't have gauze in my mouth while I was in the recovery room. Like, I don't know if they had it when I first went in, like when I first got out of surgery or not, but when I was like starting to wake up, there wasn't any gauze in my mouth. And then I got home and there was a little bit of bleeding, so I put some gauze in my mouth and I bit down for 30 minutes like they instructed me to. And I after that I didn't have to put any more gauze in, so I didn't really bleed that much. Let's see. Don't avoid spitting for like the first like week after your surgery, because once your wisdom teeth come out, blood clots are starting to form in the sockets, and if you spit, the blood clots that are in the socket are more likely to like dislodge and expose like the bone underneath, and exposing the bone to the air can lead to dry socket, and dry socket is extremely like painful, I've heard. I didn't have it, thank God, but yeah, so don't no spitting, and no drinking through straws either. I didn't start drinking, the first time I drank through a straw was Monday, and I wasn't even sure if I was supposed to. I went and got a culotta from Dunkin' Donuts, and I basically let it sit until it practically melted, so that it wasn't as much pressure. But at that point, I was 6 days, what was it, 5 or 6 days post surgery. So I figured figured it would be okay. So yeah, but I don't recommend that. You can also have bruising along your jawline, which won't show up right away. It'll show up after a couple days. I had a little bit of bruising over here, but that was mainly because my right side was more trauma to that area, so I feel that's why. And bruising is completely normal. If you have stitches, they'll typically fall out on their own in the first week, although some can last longer depending on like the type and like brand and like stuff, because there are a ton of different kinds of stitches, so it all depends. So some can last longer, and because you are swollen, it may feel like your cheek is like stuck to your gums, which it won't be. It's not. It's normal, and it goes away as your swelling improves. So, yeah, I felt that, and that's why I couldn't like open my mouth. So typically they use dissolvable stitches in your mouth because, it's in your mouth. So, and they will usually fall out on their own. Mine haven't fallen out yet, but my surgeon said that they looked great, and he was just going to leave them because they looked like they were about ready. Like they looked like they could fall out any time, because I'm only 1 week post-op. So he said if they don't fall out by like next week, then make an appointment to come back. So like diet and wound care. So I have a list of food suggestions, like soft and liquid food suggestions, that were on the back of this paper, which I'll get into in a minute. But basically, make sure you keep yourself hydrated and make sure you eat. Like, even if it's like small things, like make sure you eat to keep your strength up. I didn't really want to eat because when you get your wisdom teeth out, especially if you're undergoing general anesthesia, you can't eat or drink anything like after midnight of like midnight before your surgery. So I went in it 24 hours and only drank a protein shake. That's all I drank. That's all I had, and like a little bit of water. But because I wasn't hungry. You would think I would feel hungry, but I wasn't hungry. But make sure you keep yourself hydrated. You don't want to get dehydrated. Make sure you eat when you need to take your prescription pain meds or your antibiotics. Rinse your mouth regularly with like salt water, like warm salt water rinses. Don't start those the first day. I was told to start mine on the second day when I was told to start brushing my teeth again. Do your saltwater rinses. They are so helpful. They help promote healing. I was told to do them at least 4 times a day. Well, and every time after I ate. So I tried to do it more, but I made sure I did at least 4. Make sure you brush your teeth, but don't brush directly over like the surgical site for at least 5 days. I was told not to brush my teeth for the night after my surgery, like that first night, because I was still numb and I wouldn't know if I had gone back too far and hurt myself. So once the numbness wears off, you can brush your teeth normally, but don't brush back near where your wisdom teeth were taken out. If you smoke, make sure you don't smoke for I think 2 days before your surgery. And smoking, you can start smoking after your surgery, but smoking will increase pain and delay healing. And I also read somewhere that it can increase your chance of dry socket. I don't know how true that is, but I read that somewhere. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, so on to food suggestions. So don't eat any food that's like super hot for the first like 24 hours after surgery, because the heat can make it bleed more. So eat like lukewarm foods or like cold foods. Avoid like crunchy foods and like hard foods like popcorn and chips and like nuts and stuff like that for up to like 2 weeks following surgery. I don't even want to try to eat that stuff yet. So yeah, like I had a hard time eating tater tots last night for dinner. So you know. So here's just a list of foods that you can eat that are just like soft foods, just a list of suggestions. Pancakes, mashed potatoes and gravy, chicken noodle soup or any kind of like soup and saltines, tomato soup and saltines, obviously putting the saltines in the soup to make them mushy. Pasta with like butter or sauce, oatmeal or cream of wheat, scrambled eggs, SpaghettiOs, ravioli, chop suey, shepherd's pie, polenta, smooth hummus, cottage cheese, or other soft cheeses, blueberry muffins, smoothies, applesauce, like pudding or mousse, ice cream, sherbet, gelato, anything of that nature, shakes, and yogurt were just some suggestions. For the first like 5 days, all I really ate were protein shakes. So I ate my protein shakes and I ate yogurt and pudding because it was just like easier for me to get down because I couldn't open my mouth very wide. After that, I was eating some pancakes and like mashed potato, pasta, like canned pastas, SpaghettiOs, and stuff like that. I had shepherd's pie the other night, and I was able to eat that. Yeah, so basically, there's a lot of stuff that you can eat. It's just whether or not you want to, like, you feel up to eating after surgery. So yeah. Basically, I'm still not eating like super like hard, like solid foods yet. Still eating fairly soft foods. Like last night we had like fish and like tater tots and like stuff like that, and like so they were like fairly soft foods that I would like just like ate the fish and tried eating tater tots and stuff, and I've been eating pasta because that goes down easier. Like we went to Olive Garden yesterday and I got pasta. Yeah. So my surgeon cleared me for going to the gym again. So that's nice. I can start wearing my retainers again. I started wearing my retainers Tuesday night because I tried them on during the day on Tuesday and they were feeling very tight. So, like, they still fit, but they felt really tight. So I wore them basically all day Tuesday and then Tuesday night, and then I wore them last night. So, starting to wear my retainers again. If you have retainers, you'll probably be told not to wear them for the first like week after surgery just because you're still swollen. And yeah, so like your gums are swollen, so your retainers aren't gonna fit right anyway, most likely. So yeah, and make sure you irrigate your sockets too, your wounds. Yeah. So I think that's really it. So that was my experience. Sorry for the like super long video. I'm going back to work tomorrow, so I probably won't be posting videos very often. If I do, they'll probably be like super short. So yeah, so don't expect too many videos, but yeah, so that's really it, guys. I hope this was helpful for any of you who are getting your wisdom teeth out soon or who have gotten them out and are in the recovery phase. Good luck, and yeah, I hope that you're not in too much pain. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.